Hello, my name's Amy. I'm an indie author and small business owner in the north of England, and today, for the first time in a while, I am starting a new writing vlog. A lot of this summer looks really busy for me work-wise, but June is a little bit quieter than the rest of the summer, and it has been made even quieter by some of the extended COVID restrictions in the UK. So that is giving me more time than I expected to write, and I thought I would take you along. Now, in my last writing vlog, I actually started a first draft of a new book. I did a challenge where I tried to write 5,000 words in a weekend, and that went really well. I have to admit though, I have not really touched that book since. Or not in the form I was writing in that particular vlog. It has been through some pretty major changes since then. Those 5,000 words were the start of another version of an urban fantasy. I talked a bit about it in that video. How this particular book and world have gone through so many iterations, and I was starting yet another one that weekend. Now, I did like what I wrote in that vlog. I thought it was going pretty well, but I still ground to a halt yet again. It's hard for me to even say exactly why. I don't think there was anything particularly wrong with the book. It just wasn't exciting me the way I wanted it to. I have felt consistently with that series that I was struggling to find the sweet spot between the popular tropes of urban fantasy and what I actually wanted to write. And somehow I could just never quite make it work. But a couple of weeks ago, my partner and I started watching The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, The Winter Soldier, the original film, is my favourite of the Marvel films. I do love a good spy thriller in any format. And as that was kind of a spy thriller with superheroes, it got me thinking, maybe I don't want to write an urban fantasy at all. Maybe I want to take the characters from this urban fantasy, who are almost superheroes anyway because of some of the magic and the powers they've got, and I want to instead put them into a spy thriller. So that is what I'm attempting at the moment. Right now it is a huge mashup of superheroes, of espionage, and of urban fantasy. It is globe-trotting adventure and lots of action, but also the personal politics of a small team working together, and also much larger scale politics going on in the background. I've written about 13,000 words of it so far, and I am really enjoying it. Now, I know I enjoyed the urban fantasy version as well, so there is no guarantee that this one will get off the ground any better, but it feels really good to have taken this setting and these characters and done something completely different with them. And the other thing I'm going to be working on this week are the edits for Echo State, which is my second cyberpunk book. I've been working on them on and off for several weeks and progress is very slow, but I feel like I'm starting to get into it a bit better now. I spent much longer than usual reading through the book and making my notes, and then I took a bit of a break to actually draft the last couple of chapters, which I hadn't done in the official first draft. But now I'm back to the point of actually editing, and I'm working my way through from start to finish. I'm on chapter 3 of, I think, 29, so I've got a long way to go. But one of the things I am trying to do this month and across the whole summer is to be a bit more kind to myself. I feel like I'm up against a deadline with Echo State because I really wanted it finished and published by the end of the summer, but I also made that deadline at a time when I was not working and writing was a much bigger priority in my schedule. Things have moved around a lot more since then, so as long as I am consistently working on the book, I'm trying to be happy with that. It's not going to be done as soon as I wanted it to be. There really is no way around that. I cannot produce more time in my life, but I can keep working on it, I can keep plugging away, and it will definitely be done by the end of this year, which means I will have released 2 books in 2021. I'd hoped for 3, and honestly, that was always an ambitious goal. I knew it wasn't likely to happen, so I'm still happy to be working towards 2. With a job and a new business and a toddler and an upcoming building project, I think that's pretty good going. It's about 10 o'clock on Friday morning. Since I last updated the vlog, my writing has been a bit erratic. Yesterday morning, I didn't write a single thing. It was just one of those days where I felt absolutely worn out and had no energy to do anything at all. So what I actually spent a lot of the early part of yesterday doing was finishing Empire Ascendant by Cameron Hurley. If you're looking for some strange, gruesome, very fast-paced epic fantasy, I highly recommend this series. I have read the first 2 books now, and I've rated both of them 5 stars. And I love epic fantasy, but it's hard for it to really impress me that way anymore. So there's a quick book recommendation for you. Now let's chat about the writing. Despite not doing anything yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon I actually did pretty well. I've been timing my editing of Echo State, and I aim to do about 2 to 2.5 hours of work on it a week. Now that doesn't sound very much, but my schedule is pretty tight right now between work and my daughter, and I can get quite a lot done in 2.5 hours if I do it consistently every week. Yesterday afternoon, I actually managed nearly a full hour. So that was a huge amount of my weekly target taken care of in one afternoon. Honestly, that was the longest editing session I've had in a really long time, and I enjoyed it immensely. Editing is one of those things that I grouse about, and it took me many years to learn how to enjoy it. But I do enjoy it now, and I enjoy it more when I have more time to dig into it properly. And the other thing I did yesterday was write about 600 words of the thriller. Now, when I started this thriller draft, I thought I was going to write about 1,000 words every day until it was finished. That definitely hasn't happened. There have been lots of smaller days and days that I've missed altogether. But I still have over 13,000 words. I'm happy with the way the draft is going. And that's actually what I'm going to work on now. I've just taken my daughter down to a friend's house where she's going to play for about an hour, which is not very long at all, but during the last 18 months, she had about a year where she didn't see any other kids because of COVID. So we are easing her back into hanging out with other children very gradually. So I don't have long to myself, probably down to about 45 minutes now, but I've made myself a cup of tea and I'm going to get to work. That is exactly 900 words down, and it's time for me to head out again. It's now Saturday night and I just wanted to do a quick update. Yesterday turned into a really good writing day. I ended up with about 1,400 words on the thriller. Today has been pretty relaxed though. We went walking this morning. It's a really beautiful day and we are trying to make the most of the summer and the good weather as much as possible. Overall today I wrote about 1,100 words, which is still pretty good. Those were split between the thriller and my serial fiction for Chronicles of Tyria. Honestly, the hardest thing right now is balancing work and time off. When I do have free time, I feel very guilty if I don't spend every single minute of it working. But I also know that isn't sustainable and it's not healthy. This is something I have been wrestling with for a very long time and I've not really found a solution to it. This feeling of guilt has only really got worse since I had my daughter and also since I started self-publishing. Writing is now part of my job, and even when it's not making me a lot of money, I take it very seriously. And of course, being a parent, I have a lot less free time than I used to. So if I feel like I'm not using it wisely, that's where the guilt comes in. So it is really nice to have these days where I feel like I've achieved a bit more balance. There's been time to get out with my family and have some fun, but also I've managed to fit some writing in there as well. And actually, looking at my weekly to-do list, I am pretty much on track to get most things done this week. That's the first time I've been able to say that in a while. I think I was a little bit more sensible about setting my goals this week because I've been able to see how I've struggled over the last month or so. But I'm thinking I'm going to be able to tick off most of the items on the list by the end of tomorrow, which is going to feel really good. So we'll wrap things up tomorrow evening and see how I got on. It's Sunday evening and it has been a very long and tiring day. My daughter got up really early this morning and then proceeded to spend most of the day being really grumpy because of that. So it feels like I haven't got quite as much writing done as I would have liked, but actually looking at my stats for the day, I've written just over 1,000 words. So that really isn't too bad. 500 of those were on my Chronicles of Tyria chapter, so the first draft of that is finished, and the other 500 were on the thriller. And actually the other thing I did this afternoon was tick off quite a big to-do list item. I've got a load of paperwork to get ready for our accountant. Not very exciting at all and not really what I wanted to spend my Sunday afternoon on, but it needed doing and I've got a lot closer to finishing that. I should be able to get it wrapped up in the next couple of days. So it really hasn't been too bad a day work-wise, much better than I expected. And for what has been a pretty chill week, I've actually got quite a lot done. Looking at my to-do list, there is one thing not ticked off, which required a visit to a hardware store and we just never had time for that. And I am missing one 20-minute session of editing on Echo State. Now, I could squeeze that in tonight, but honestly, I have just had enough at this point. These are targets I set for myself every week, and in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter whether I exactly meet them. They keep me on track and they get books finished, and that's the important thing. So tonight I'm going to be taking things very easy. I've got books to read, TV to watch, and so I'm going to end the vlog here. Thank you for joining me for this very relaxed, chill writing week. I think I have surprised myself with how much I've managed to get done, even when I've been busy or tired or circumstances have been against me. So I hope you have also had a good writing week. And I would love to hear what you're working on down in the comments. Keep writing everyone, and I'll see you next time.